Welcome back to Block TV this week with a big Facebook announcement of Libra coin and the whole infrastructure still making headlines across the cryptosphere, and our very own Yona Hochhauser is gathering them for us. Yona, what's making headlines today?
Well, mostly Libra, but some other stuff too. So Bloomberg reports how Facebook's Sandberg says Libra coin is a long way from launch. Cointelegraph reports how Senate Banking Committee sets hearing on Facebook's crypto for July 16th. U-Today reports how Libra white paper, according to Libra white paper, Facebook's Libra network can be damaged should 1/3 of nodes fail. The Block Crypto reports how PwC rolls out new auditing tool for cryptocurrencies as the Big Four race to fill demand. Cointelegraph reports how Hyperledger gains Microsoft and Ethereum Foundation among raft of new members. And lastly, Cointelegraph reports how 70% of crypto exchanges have complied with CoinMarketCap's transparency initiative.
Excellent. So let's get right to it. So the first reaction, I think, from Facebook after the launch of Libra, what's she saying?
Right. So Facebook's COO, Sheryl Sandberg, pretty much number 2 in the company, she recently sat down with Bloomberg. Let's take a listen.
We announced yesterday is the formation of a global association, the Libra Association. It's going to be based in Geneva. We have 27 partners, some incredible partners. We have PayPal and MasterCard and Visa and Vodafone and Spotify and Uber and Lyft, right? Real companies, as well as NGOs and nonprofits. And what we would like to do is help there be a global cryptocurrency that's more inclusive. Now, we're a long way from launch. Regulators have concerns. We're already meeting with them. We know we have a lot of work to do. But this was an announcement of what we would like to do with a roadmap for people to jump in and help us do it. And we're going to not run this. It's going to be an association, not reporting to Facebook.
So your immediate response to the regulatory scrutiny, we've already had Maxine Waters in the US, plenty of Congress people speaking out how it should be halted already. We've had Mark Carney saying, the door's open, well, the door's not open, but our minds are open. How do you feel about the initial take-up of this?
Well, we announced this early. All we've done so far is published a white paper, announced the formation of an association. And that's because we know we have a lot of people to work with. We know this is a heavily regulated space. We need to talk to people, meet with people, and that's what we're doing. And we are then going to launch.
Right. I can't help but feel that she's a bit on the defensive there, Ms. Sandberg.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand why. I mean, since the Libra announcement, there's been a lot of backlash, a lot of concern, especially by lawmakers globally. I mean, this is widespread. We heard it in Germany, in Switzerland, I mean, all over the place. And so far, Facebook has, like you said, gone into crisis management mode. And it seems like they kind of, they've changed their story from, hey, this is what Libra is, to, oh, we just announced what we're going to do so people know, and now we could get feedback and we could change. Right. And I mean, I kind of side with her, in the sense that all they did was really just announce the white paper. I mean, they really...
Yeah, and it's not that often that a glorified press release gets this much backlash. But again, when you're dealing with a company like Facebook, a tech giant that's in practically everybody's life, you can understand the trepidation there as well. Cointelegraph has another take on this?
Well, yeah, I mean, Cointelegraph is showing how pretty much the Senate just isn't buying, what Facebook is selling. So according to them, the Senate Banking Committee has set a hearing on Facebook's crypto, Libra, for July 16th. They've already said it. And it makes sense because so far, I mean, a lot of the coverage surrounding Facebook's Libra currency, like we said, has been focused on negative and skeptical reactions from lawmakers, especially highlighted by the United States House of Representatives Financial Services Committee, Senator Maxine Waters, where she called on Facebook to halt their project until Congress can finish an inquiry. Well, now we're finally seeing those actions, being put, those words being put into actions. They're setting the inquiry. It's for July 16th. And it's not going to be her committee. It's going to be the Banking Committee of the United States Senate. And they're going to be hearing testimony, from Facebook, from industry insiders. And just in case you were wondering what the hearing will exactly be announced,
yes,
they named it Examining Facebook's Proposed Digital Currency and Data Privacy Considerations. So, we know clearly what it's about.
All right, yeah, privacy is a big issue, and we know this isn't the only examination of Facebook's data custody and privacy concerns. I mean, there's a couple of federal investigations going into antitrust in there. So I think Mark Zuckerberg and other Facebook officials might have to rent out a hotel in DC, because they're going to be talking a lot to politicians.
Yeah, as they should, especially with a potential game changer like this.
Right.
And well, according to You Today, people might have another reason to worry besides Facebook being all powerful and controlling and changing the monetary system. According to You Today, the headline is Libra white paper: Facebook's Libra network can be damaged should 1/3 of nodes fail. So while most of blockchains that run off of proof of work can be controlled by a 51% attack, that means that if a malicious actor takes control of 51% of the network power, they'll be able to do double spends and other things that are not good. But it is super expensive and not easy, especially depending on the bigger blockchains. It's not really a threat these days. But according to the Libra white paper, a malicious actor only needs to take control of 1/3 of the network, or about 34%.
You're not buying it.
I'm not buying it, and I'll tell you exactly why, for a couple of reasons. One, the Libra chain doesn't run on proof of work, nor is it permissionless like these other blockchains we're speaking about, Bitcoin, Ethereum, at least anytime soon. They said at least 5 years, which means that only approved entities could be validators on the network. Approved entities like Uber, like MasterCard and Visa. So yes, if MasterCard, Visa, and Uber all decided to get together and say, crypto's a threat, let's kill it before it takes off, they could, but in all honesty, they're not going to do that, most likely.
Especially after they've already paid $10 million in order to take part in this party.
Yeah. I mean, listen, $10 million for these companies isn't really much of a threat, but listen, it's a PR thing. They have an incentive, if they're partners, to be able to control it going forwards. There's a reason they joined it. It's probably not to kill it from the inside. As well, Libra runs off the BFT consensus protocols. Guys, Facebook, as much as you don't like them, they aren't idiots. Okay, they hire the smartest minds, and they thought these things through. This wasn't a decision they made about Libra in one day. We've been hearing about it for quite a while now, and that's only what we've been hearing about. Clearly, they've been working on it for much longer. And they thought these things through as much as could be thought through. Blockchain is still an early technology, but taking control of the Libra blockchain just isn't a fear at this point, based off what we know about blockchain right now.
All right, and all good stuff about Libra. We're going to be seeing more and more stories about this in the mainstream media and obviously in the crypto-focused media. But there's the world outside of Libra. Take it away.
Finally, some stuff outside of Libra. Well, the Block Crypto is reporting how PwC, one of the big four professional consulting firms, has launched a new auditing solution for clients who hold cryptocurrencies. They're calling it Halo. And what this does is it tracks clients' blockchain transactions to provide, quote, independent, substantive evidence needed to establish ownership of cryptocurrency. Now, that is very legally important for institutions that hold cryptos, big corporations, big companies. That is something they need to worry about. They need to have big auditing tools like this. This isn't really aimed for the average retail consumer who's buying some Bitcoin like you and me. This is for institutions, and Halo will support at launch Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, Litecoin, Ether, ERC20, and XRP cryptocurrencies. So, this is big news for institutions that want to be compliant with regulations and tax issues, that might come out of, that might have kept them, out of crypto or kept them a little scared of dipping their toes in until now.
All right, so another reason to adopt that we have there. Next up, Cointelegraph with the competition.
Right, well, not necessarily the competition, but kind of showing that PwC is coming right on time with Halo, because Cointelegraph reports how Hyperledger gains Microsoft and Ethereum Foundation among a raft of new members. So Microsoft, Salesforce, and Ethereum Foundation are among some of the new major companies joining the enterprise blockchain platform Hyperledger. Now, Hyperledger, it already was big, but now it seems to be, at this point, kind of clearly the biggest player in the enterprise blockchain game, with IBM and JP Morgan Chase already on board. And once again, this is for enterprises, this is for companies and businesses to use, and this isn't for us, for us average consumers. This is a permissioned blockchain. This is something for institutional industrial use. Right. But this is, once again, these things are good, because when industries take on the blockchain, even if it's not the blockchain that me and you interact with, this is still good, because it makes people more comfortable, both companies more comfortable with blockchain technology, as well as consumers. They recognize, oh, if IBM's using it, if people and workers are using it well, efficiently, and safely, then it becomes part of the culture and becomes something that we all can
Right.
use.
It's not criminal. It's not
Exactly.
it's not terrorist. These are traditional conservative players, and we can go on board with that. Next up.
Well, next up, so while these hyperledger companies have historically played nice together, we're joining this thing. Historically, crypto exchanges hasn't.
Right.
So Cointelegraph is reporting how 70% of crypto exchanges have actually complied with CoinMarketCap's transparency initiative. So you remember, a little while back how there was that bombshell report, how a vast majority of crypto exchanges trading volumes simply was fake or wash trading.
Wash trading, yeah.
Exactly.
We had the report by Bitwise. We had the report by the TIE. I mean, and we've been tackling this from a bunch of different angles over the last few months. Basically, some accounts said up to 90% of all trading is fake.
Exactly.
But here we have Cointelegraph with the update.
Yeah. So when that bombshell report happened, a lot of people were pointing fingers not at the exchanges, but actually CoinMarketCap, because what the CoinMarketCap did was that they ranked and they placed a lot of weight on trading volume. And that made it an incentive to exchanges to kind of fudge the numbers and push them up.
Right?
Exactly. Well, to CoinMarketCap's credit, they immediately announced a new policy called the Data Accountability and Transparency Alliance, or DATA, initiative, where exchanges were then required to adhere to stricter reporting standards and data requirements to ensure the accuracy of their reports, so they can't no longer get away with this wash trading. Well, in good news, CoinMarketCap has announced that so far 70% of the exchanges listed on their site have fulfilled the expected requirements. Now, this is a great example of self-policing by this very young industry. It gives me great hope going forwards because it shows that good actors can succeed and have an incentive to continue being honest in the market.
Right, and I'm guessing once they publish the list of these compliant companies, then investors are going to be able to go, all right, those are whitelist versus blacklist, know where to put their money. Although, please help us, remind us of the constant reminder when it comes to putting funds in exchanges.
Not your keys, not your crypto. Better way of not dealing with those volumes is just not have your keys in those exchanges.
Must be said every time. Yona Hochhauser, thank you very much. That was Blockheads looking through the top headlines of the day. We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter